Okay. Adalah NY was started as a coalition after the Lebanon War, one of the many Lebanon wars, but gradually became entirely a BDS group as we began to pay more attention to the BDS call and began to focus. And before I was actually there, the decision was taken to go after Leviev, the notorious billionaire Uzbeki Israeli from London, diamond monger, and he has a store. He's not entirely based in New York, but he does have a store on Madison Avenue. When we choose a target, we have a list of criteria. But to make a long story short, the reason that we did it is because Billy asked us to, which is an instructive thing, because they said specifically, this is somebody who is constructing settlements, and why don't you look into the angles? And so, sorry? On our land. And so more research was done, and we found that of the list of the top 5 crimes that you can do in the world, he did them. So this satisfied one of our criteria, which we call egregious practices. We want to present somebody who really embodies the cynicism and venality that these folks are capable of, and the ability to steal other people's land and lie about it goes hand in hand with other crimes. And he became our poster boy for this particular list of crimes. Now, he also, another of our criteria was a local angle, and he also, because he has actually a roster of companies, he's been very involved in construction in Brooklyn, another colonized area. Very dubious and controversial construction there that had a lot of opposition as well. Hang on. So then we looked into what are some of the other
good, great.
Violations of animal rights is also very important.
It's like sit down.
Yeah, and he has also spin-off companies, which I'll get to, but he was, in terms of the sourcing of diamonds, of course, in international law, a very strong growth area has been the rules around conflict diamonds. Okay, so where are you getting your, where are you sourcing, you know, where do you get your stuff to make, to get married with? We found him very active in Africa, and very, very tight with dictatorships in Africa. Conflict diamonds, for those who don't know, involve making money off of civil wars that are fueled by the resources. Many of you will know about the Congo and the minerals there, which I carry around with me here, my little phone. Well, same thing with diamonds, and you also have a whole associated array of crimes, such as the recruitment of child soldiers and so forth. So many, many humanitarian groups can relate to the struggle around this kind of a practice. Here, there's a note here, of course, settlement construction in East Jerusalem. We didn't, I don't know why they didn't note Brooklyn there. That's a crime, right? So we found that he had gone above and beyond the call of crimes and began to look into what his connections were that we could kind of get at. And we're kind of known for flashy, mobby things, but that's good for attention getting and all that, and it brings people in and sustains our spirits and all that, but the research that goes on behind, and then after the research, the contacting that goes on behind the scenes of people that he has associations with is really the meat and potatoes of it. So we began contacts with, for example, a lot of these people you will find have a profile of humanitarianism. So it's a very interesting change of subject. You say, you're taking people's land and you're fostering conflict diamonds and child soldiery. And he says, yes, but I give money to UNICEF. So all right, we'll bite and we'll go talk to UNICEF, and we began discussions with UNICEF, at the end of which they did disassociate themselves and said they would forevermore not be taking any money from him as long as he was engaged in those practices. Meanwhile, we also talked to Oxfam, which was an interesting situation. You know, in New York we have a lot of responsibilities anything that we do there has reverberations in kind of the opposite way as if you did it in Kansas. Both very important. If you do something for BDS in support of the Palestinian call in New York, you have shown people that even in the capital of Zionism, outside of Israel, that there is a vibrant movement for human rights. If you do it in Kansas, you've proven that it is everywhere. Both of these are very important, just so all of you Kansans know that I respect your part of Kansas. But another thing we have in New York is a lot of celebrities, and some of them are doing things that, well, they should know better. So we began to approach, for example, Susan Sarandon, who, along with other celebrities, was featured on Leviev's webpage and boosting diamonds is a good idea, supporting the diamonds. Eventually, these celebrities began to make inquiries with Leviev about what it was that was going on that we were telling them, and one by one began to drop off the page until they removed the entire celebrity page. These were people including Salma Hayek, Halle Berry, Drew Barrymore, Brooke Shields, Whitney Houston, Sharon Stone, all gone. So he has lost that selection of people. Susan Sarandon was a special case, and we had a very difficult time with her. She was at once a spokesperson for Leviev and Oxfam, and we kind of drove a wedge in the middle and put an end to that. The same thing happened later with a person who was the head of one of Leviev's companies and who was on the board of everybody knows this.
CARE.
Of CARE.
CARE International.
Couldn't think of the word, but I do CARE. No, he was on board of CARE International, and he was actually cut loose from that. They said, we're not going to have you on our board as long as you're in that position now. And he was, well, let's say he left the Leviev company and is now suing them actually for unrelated financial misdemeanors or sleight of hand. So there's been a lot of success in separating individual people and important international and humanitarian organizations from the Leviev companies, to the point where Leviev said that he is no longer, his company Africa Israel, beautifully named, is no longer building settlements. He wouldn't say, we will never more. He said, we are not presently, or something. Well, who is building settlements? One of his other companies, Leader Management. So we said, well, that's almost good enough. We'll go on to the next phase. Anyhow, right, I was one slide off.
Yes.
Okay, good. I told you all that already. So then there was another series of divestments. As you know, I mean, this was not so much a boycott on our part, although we all immediately stopped buying our diamonds there. But it is a divestment campaign, and it is also an example of bringing the issue into the public where Israel doesn't want it. The author and Professor Ilan Pape came to New York and told us, your job here in New York is to make Israelis uncomfortable when they come here. Well, he was referring specifically to Israelis like Leviev, performers who should know better, and so forth. And this is a lot of what we've done is to make it so that New York is not a safe haven for people perpetrating atrocities in Palestine. Right. A few websites for those who want to follow up. This is ours here. This is Bilin, and our organizations that provide us with so much information, aside from Dalits who profits from the occupation, also the BNC, the National Committee, and the Academic and Cultural Boycott, which I won't talk about, but which we do participate in quite a bit. Being New York, everybody wants to come and perform in New York, and we will perhaps get into that a little bit in the discussion. Thanks.